Hello everyone, this is JPL back for another thought topic. If you're new to thought topics and what this is I am presented with a thought or topic or question that I will then give my opinion on. These are mostly unedited videos. Whenever I do edit them, it's because I had to stop the recording for something else. The reason why I do this is because I like to do things in a way where if he were to come to me in person and ask me what this idea is, this would be exactly how I would describe it to you. And the topic I'd like to discuss for today would be my top 10 favorite episodes of Doctor Who. Doctor Who was once my very favorite TV show. The reason why it's no longer my favorite TV show is because I grew up, I got older, and my taste and what I like started to change a bit, and so Doctor Who, there's a lot of things that do not stick in as time passes. Things become outdated, and I have things that I enjoy more, but I still love the show. Doctor Who has had a big influence on my life. As you can see, I have it's why I wear bow ties. It's why I part my hair in a certain way. It's why I like to wear hats, maybe fezzes. It's, I have a painting right there that my mother made. It's a fun show, and I would highly recommend it. This is completely personal based. Not much else. Oh, I guess that works too. But anyway, going on with number 10, The Angels Take Manhattan. The reason why I love this episode is because this episode was the send-off for Amy and Rory, and whenever that send-off happens, I almost cry every time. And the Weeping Angels themselves they're just a cool villain. I love them every time I see them. And so for them being in New York and seeing all those different variations of the angels, it's really cool. Sometimes it's a bit goofy, but you gotta love all the different things they do with it, and it's a very good episode. Going on to number 9, we have The Parting of Ways, the season 1 finale. This was Christopher Eccleston's send-off. This was the first time we get to see regeneration in this new series of Doctor Who. Him turning into David Tennant, the famous doctor that almost everyone loves. The reason why I like this is because we have the Daleks and the army, and it's just a grand finale. It seems like it's the end with this doctor, that he's gonna die, and then boom, he transforms, and it's a cool, epic moment that it's been building up to in this season. Whenever I talk about finales, I like to include multiple episodes, because a lot of times the reason why we like them is because of the 2 parts that go into it. And so when I talk about the 2-part finale, it's technically, I call it one episode, and later on I'll explain more. Up next, we have Journey's End. That's technically a 3-part episode, but I like the last 2 episodes, and I put them together as one, because they go together really well. I love this because this is what this show, the first 4 seasons, have been building up to, with all these characters, with all this history, building up to this final moment, to where we have our cast all together against these villains, especially that main villain from past old Doctor Who coming into the show for the very first time. It's a fantastic moment. It's a triumphant moment, and it feels like the end of an era, which we'll go to next, which is the end of time, another 2-part episode, which I'll consider as well. Technically, this works, but the episodes themselves, they're fine. They're not my favorite episodes, but the reason why I have them higher on this list is just because of the very last 5-10 minutes of that, where David Tennant regenerates. One of the most beautiful regeneration sequences you could ever have, with a beautiful opera, with him going around seeing everyone of his companions, seeing them, rescuing them, seeing them from one last time before he has his last hurrah, going into the TARDIS, regenerating, saying, "I don't want to go." A beautiful moment that's very well set up, and the beautiful music that just, it makes this scene happen. And then we get our first glimpse of Matt Smith, who's a character that I really love. And that's just fantastic moments. Up next, I just put down Pandorica. The Big Bang, Pandorica opens. Those 2 episodes, the episodes that Season 5 has been leading up to. One of my favorite finales of the show is because it just all works out. Every episode there's like a hint towards the finale. Simply just seeing a crack on the wall. We get to find out what the crack is. As each episode we go, we get to find out more about those cracks. We get to find out why we have so much about this. And it's so cool, and you love everything about it. And once we get to the final hurrah with the Doctor saying goodbye and then coming back, it's an emotional moment. And we didn't know that, the show would be going on. If you kept it a secret with your friends, they would probably be emotional too, because it just seems like this is the very end for the Doctor. There's one specific moment in this episode that I just love the most, and that's when Matt Smith is talking to Amy with the Angels episode. That's a moment that I pointed out when I first watched the original episode with the Angels. And that, why is he not wearing his coat there? And then we finally get to see, wait a minute, that wasn't him. That was a different version of him. And it's like, oh my goodness, they were pointing this out from the very beginning. It's amazing. It's so cool, and it works together. And, Season 5, you saw my other thought topic, it's my favorite season. There's so much heart put into it. Going on to number 5, we have the 11th hour. I think that's the first episode in Season 5. I like it so much. That's our first glimpse. Well, technically we had the finale, but that's our first glimpse of Matt Smith as our Doctor. His first episode where he's the Doctor. And it's like there's so many things that he does in that episode that we just love. It's a fantastic introduction to our new characters, to a new Doctor, to a brand new TARDIS. Is this the introduction to his bow tie? Him saying bow ties are cool. It's like that one line, it has a great influence on a lot of the fandom. That's why I wear bow ties. That's why I have a lot of fashion sense. It's because of Matt Smith. And this episode is his introduction. Very well done. It's a start of a brand new era, a brand new feeling of the show. Season 5 is where I feel like the CGI of the show starts to get a lot better, starts to feel like a lot of the moments just stand out. They can last, especially Prisoner Zero. I still think the CGI in Prisoner Zero looks very good, while I compare it to the werewolf in Season 2, that doesn't look that great anymore. Neither the Trachophe, or whatever you call it. Matt Smith has always been my character, my Doctor. And I just love every time I watch him get into this role for the very first time. And that moment with him saying, "Hello, I am the Doctor." Fantastic moment. That's where he sealed the deal on a lot of people that, yeah, he is going to be a great Doctor. Moving on to my number 4, the episode Blink. This is a lot of people's favorite episodes, and I do agree it's a very good episode. This is what I call an introductory episode, an episode that you show someone who's not really sure in Doctor Who. You show them this episode, and then maybe not, they'll be interested in the show from this one episode. And that's a really good episode. There are some really outdated stuff and jokes don't work out too well, but it's still a very solid episode, and it works so well because the Doctor himself is hardly in this episode, and it's mostly surrounded different characters, and I love how it works together. Stephen Moffat, say what you want about him and the showrunner, but he does fantastic episodes. He has a lot of good stuff in the show. Moving on with Weeping Angels, we have the Angels from season 5. Those 2 episodes, Stone Cold or Time of the Angels, that 2-part. This episode has a lot of heart to me because these 2 episodes were the first 2 episodes that I myself have ever saw, and it attracted me immediately. I got really interested in the show. I liked everything about it. The Angels in this were so cool because we had an entire army of them, and it was just so unpredictable what would happen. And then you have the threat of the crack about what that was all about. And then you have River Song, this weird character, and overall, there was just so much going into this, especially that moment with the Doctor and Amy, with him not wearing that jacket. It's just so special, something that you can point out and be like, something's not right there, but then it turns out, wait, that's right. And it's just, I love that the show has done that. And season 5, like I said before, it's my favorite season for so many reasons. And that's why I love these 2 episodes in particular, because of the Angels, and because Matt Smith, with his great performance, and that reveal that, oh my goodness, these statues, they're moving. Oh, fantastic. Up at my number 2, I have The Day of the Doctor. My goodness. I remember when this came out, it became my very favorite episode. I loved it so much. I watched it in theaters. I got the very last 2 seats in the front row. I was there for the 50th anniversary with all these Whovians that I didn't know were in the country that I was in. And it was a blast. I love it so much, with all of our Doctors together, with the very first glimpse of Peter Capaldi was just his eyebrows, with him being the new Doctor, and it was just so, it was cool having all these Doctors together, it was cool having the storyline, it was just an overall cool thing that was just epic and a great 50th anniversary, and it shows, how much the show means to a lot of people, 50 years in. How much the show has grown, how much it's evolved throughout those 50 years, and it's just, we got to this final moment here, that's just an epic moment that I don't know how they're going to even top this, if we even get to a 100th anniversary, if they're even going to do a special for that. It'd be really cool if they did, it'd be really interesting if they did, and I wonder if we're even going to get to that. Finally, we get into my very favorite episode, which is an episode that is not normally people's favorites, and that is The Time of the Doctor. This is my favorite because it was the send-off for Matt Smith. Matt Smith is my favorite Doctor. I said it before, I cannot say it enough, but his ending here was so great that I do believe I had some tears to shed when he finally regenerated. It was a Christmas episode. It didn't feel like a Christmas episode. It felt like a final episode that we, all the fans, knew was the final moment for Matt Smith and the first moment for Capaldi. I loved his lines. Kidneys. I don't like the color. It was interesting to see that. It was very interesting to see that. But Matt Smith, he had so much heart staying to help the children, seeing how he aged, seeing how he was the last regeneration. Just so much heart in this character. Just, it was sad, and seeing that bow tie undo it is just like, my goodness. If you don't feel the emotion within that regeneration, with him finally seeing Amy for the last time, with him saying goodbye, saying like we're all different people, if you really think about it, which I hold true to that message. It's a true message for me. It works so well. I do believe that, if I were to go back to 5 years ago, I was a different person. I was probably with a different person a year ago. And it shows how much this episode just, it pulls to me. I like it so much. Let me check the time here. I got a couple minutes. And, really, Matt Smith being his send-off, seeing all these villains come together, seeing him finally beat them all in this last hurrah, with him regenerating for the last time, saying goodbye to Clara, and I cannot express this enough. This was an amazing episode. It became my favorite episode. The Day of the Doctor was my favorite, and then this came out and it became my favorite, which shows how much we gotta love this character for this final episode of him to become your favorite. And overall, it's a great written episode. Stephen Moffat, say what you want about him, but he's a great showrunner. When he was writing Matt Smith, Capaldi iffy on that because he was still working on the character a bit. So yeah, overall, yeah, you gotta love Matt Smith. This is my favorite episode. My throat is hurting right now because I've been talking so much. So yeah, this is all for the Thought Topic. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.